Okay, now that we've focused the camera and it's zoomed in at the appropriate level, then now we can adjust the side camera. But before we do that, we want to move the ball into the box. Because we zoomed out, zoomed in some, then that's changed the direction of where the balls are located. So I'm going to just try to get this one somewhere close to the center. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, that's close enough. Now that I moved it, I need to measure the distance again. So I need to make sure that second ball is straight away and is 2 feet out. Okay, it's not quite straight. Okay, so that's pretty good. It's inside the box. Now we'll go to the side view. So if you select the side view, then now we'll go through a similar process with it. Because the lights come from overhead and there's no lights to the side, you'll see it creates some shadows. So if you need to, you can bump up the brightness again. So now that looks like it's consistently detecting the two balls. So in this particular case, what we want to do is we're going to enable the trigger area so we can see it. And so this red box is where it's looking for the ball after impact to calculate launch. So ideally, this ball should be in this area. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and move my ladder out of the way since we're through with the overhead. So you could move this red box if needed, but I'm going to double check that my camera is actually straight and pointing in the right direction, because if it's kind of skewed off to the side, then that could be one reason why. So I'm going to get my mobile phone, and now unfortunately I've managed to grab the rectangle. So I'm going to move it around a little bit here to reset it. Okay. When you're on the phone and you try to do a pinch zoom, it will end up dragging the rectangle. So if you're going to do the pinch zoom, then you want to turn off the trigger. So I'm going to do that here so that we don't see the trigger area. And now my goal is to try to get this ball over here to the left. So I'm going to double check my my camera position. Okay. So it was indeed skewed. So it wasn't straight perpendicular to the target line. Okay, now I've gotten it positioned where I think it should be. Now I will redisplay the launch angle target line. Yeah, that looks good. So that's the ideal position. Now, if my camera hadn't been in the wrong position, or it was mounted in a fixed position, I could just move this box around. So if you drag in the middle, click and drag, then you can move it. And then once you let go, you'll actually move the white rectangle around. So that white rectangle is where it's searching for the balls. The red rectangle is where it's going to look for the ball after impact for launch. And so the white one follows the red as we drag it around. And you can see now that I've dragged the red rectangle up and the white rectangle is no longer enclosing the balls. It's not finding two balls, right? So I'm going to move this around back where it belongs. This is pretty close to where it started. So this is position-wise pretty much ideal. We want this ball to be kind of in the center of that rectangle off to the left. Okay, so now what we can do is we can try to focus. So .56. So that means I need to zoom out further. Unfortunately, because of where this camera is placed, this is as far as I can zoom out. Yeah, so that's all the way out. So really the only alternative I have now is just to focus it where it's at because I'm as far out as I can get. So using my pinch zoom on my phone, so that I focus this, get as clean as an image as possible. Looks pretty good. Once again, if it's less than 1 degree, it's not that big of a deal. If it's easy enough for me to adjust, then I'll try it. So you can see I moved it and that went the wrong direction. So move it back. Okay, you're not going to get any better than that. So that's on average, right around 0. It's fluctuating because it's because of the ball detection, but that looks good. So now I'm just going to double check everything. So we go back to the overhead. This is very close to 120. A couple pixels is okay. This is less than 1 degree, or right around it. I'm actually not sure that I have those balls straight. I can double check that. But, well, I can't move them, right? So if you move them to try to get the angle correct, it's going to change the distance, and the distance is much more important than the angle. As long as the angle is 1 degree or less, then that should be fine. So that looks good. Double check my side as well. This all looks good. So now I can do a save. So now you would restart, tee it up, and system is calibrated and all those changes will take effect. You do have to restart, tee it up.